Fully Human.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of the Fully Human Games Let's Talk Games podcast. I am the host for this episode, Matt, and today I'm joined by George and Josh.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing? So as I mentioned, my name is Matt. I'm going to be leading this episode. This may change in future episodes, but for now, I'm going to just try and keep the conversation to some points we have prepared. Firstly, we're going to introduce ourselves. So, my name is Matt. I'm a games designer for this studio, Full of Human Games. And yeah, George, do you want to introduce yourself?
Why not? I'm George. I'm the lead for the studio Full of Human Games. I'm a designer. I like to focus on gameplay design.
Very nice.
And I am Josh. I am the level designer of Fully Human Games. Not too much to it.
You got the design trio here, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, the idea of this podcast was that we're in a bit of a dry spell for what we're actually doing in terms of our game, which we'll touch upon in a little bit. So we thought, why not put together a podcast where we can talk about the studio, our game, and just other industry stuff to do with games. The format of this podcast could alter week by week. We're not too sure how long we'll be doing this for. It's sort of how it goes. So, yeah. So I guess we can talk about who we are, what we do, and our game that we're working on. So, do any of you want to take this, or should I start?
I think it'd be good to start.
Yeah, if you want to start.
Okay, so a bit of background into who we are then. We are Fully Human Games. We are a studio comprised of newly graduates. Probably won't share what uni, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, we're newly graduates. We are a team comprised of 6 currently. 6 official members. That is 3 designers, which is us 3 right here. 2 artists and a programmer. Yeah, so newly graduate, we finished university and we are fortunate enough to take part in something called Transfuser. We could probably touch on what that is if we want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
George, you were the lead for that, so if you want to take that.
Okay, well, yeah, Transfuser is a program run by the UK Games Talent Fund, which is a UK government-funded organisation which funds game development in the UK. Transfuser is a program specifically designed to help students who have recently graduated to develop a game and get their studio up and running. That's essentially it, and we you get into it by pitching yourselves, your studio, and your game idea, and they'll select a few people every year. And last year, 2024, we were selected as one of the teams to participate, and yeah, we've just sort of been continuing since then.
It was definitely a lot of fun. Had our struggles, but we did it.
It sounds so confident. That.
Well, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed
Well,
it.
yeah. Yeah, we had
Game development's never easy, really.
I mean, during it we had our ups and downs, but it was expected.
Yeah, it was still exciting. It was a combination of finishing uni, and then it felt like we achieved something and we were going forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine to say, but it was quite cool to go all the way down to Dundee and
Up to Dundee.
see all the other teams, other than your little mishap.
Yeah, we won't talk about that
all
though.
the way back.
we won't touch on that, but haven't been the same since.
We should clarify that one of the end results for the Transfuser program is that you get to showcase the game you're developing at Dundee, which is it's in Scotland.
which is a pretty good big
Brilliant,
game
that's
hub,
what's-
which I didn't realize actually to the extent
Mm.
of how big it is, because you know, they have like Rockstar and that up in Dundee, which is pretty mental to be totally honest. You'd think they'd be in like Edinburgh, but no, Dundee, because I've been
Well,
applying.
yeah. But there's a few other things. I think Lemmings comes to mind. I think Lemmings was developed in Dundee. I think they have a statue, but I think if I saw it when we were there.
Yeah, they do have a statue.
They do.
My granddad told me about that before we went, but
All right.
yeah, that's. I guess that sort of leads us into the game that we made for that, but we're also working on now, which is called Landship. I guess, George, do you want to lead this again? I suppose. What is Landship?
Landship is a tank driving horror game. That's as simply as you could put it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I guess we could for the audience listening, of course, we could probably liken it and give a overview of what the gameplay sort of is. So I would say it can be likened to the likes of Iron Lung and Lethal Company, in terms of you're managing this tank. You've got to use everything inside the tank to the best of your ability to traverse the game environment and ultimately play the game. And then in regards to sort of the Lethal Company side of things, it's more so we have some exciting enemy design, which sort of culminates into this ecosystem that can sort of be likened to Lethal Company in a way. And yeah, if you want to find out more, check the socials. Basically, it's hard to convey what we're really working on through audio. It's sort of a visual thing that you guys will have to check out. And yeah, we've gone through a lot of iteration with our team working on Landship, which has been
A little too much.
well, not too much. It was also kind of a good thing, blessing in disguise as well, because we've been able to work with quite a diverse group. You know, we've worked with Americans, we've worked with some people that are no longer here, and we've actually partnered up with some other transfuser teams post the showcase, which has been good in terms of progression, because we're definitely working well at the moment, which is exciting.
Especially our new programmer, I will say.
Yeah, Stanislav, he's been doing very well. I'm very happy with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, currently there's no plans for when the game's releasing. We're sort of just developing it though. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Well, I will say we've had plans, but again, I think we had plans, but due to
Well, it's just game dev really.
Well,
We've had setbacks.
due to setbacks, you know.
We do sort of have a plan, because I mean the idea of Landship, we started talking about it over 2 years ago now.
Oh, yeah.
We only really started developing it a year ago, in anticipation for Transfuser. So it hasn't really been that long, and everyone who's been working on the game has been very busy.
Yeah.
This is unfunded at the moment.
Yeah, none of us are
So
time, so it's
yeah, so we can't work in it full time. So it's a very slow process, but we're okay with that. The end goal, well, the goal we're working towards at the moment is to have a playable demo that's nice, polished, has good art assets, has good sound. Anyone can pick up and play it, and we can use that to pitch the game to a better extent to investors and publishers, so that we can get funding to make the full game, which we have plans for. That's what we're doing at the moment.
It's definitely very exciting. It's also very nerve-wracking. But that's how game dev goes, I suppose. You know, I'm out here rhyming, but I guess I can sort of lead this on to another point that we were going to touch upon, and which we can talk about, I suppose, is the games industry. Talking about how we can pitch games and how we can be successful with that. Recently, there's been some examples of games that haven't necessarily done very well from major studios. Those what are the names of them again? I haven't got them off the top of my head.
Concord,
Have you actually
Co-
forgotten?
well, Concord is probably
That's the
of
big
like
one.
that's the big one. I think right now probably if we're going for something that's not released or yet, that might be a potential what is it? Not disaster, but not as big as I think they want it to be, which would be
Right.
Marathon.
Yeah, that's the one I was on about.
Well,
Marathon.
there's the other ones of well, Skull and Bones, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Star Wars Outlaws.
I mean, how well did Shadows do? Because
I
in
think
a
it did
lot of
okay, but
yeah,
it
so
didn't do
most
it
of the
nearly as
other
much as they needed.
because of most of the other ones that we've just mentioned, we normally after the release had quite quite a bit about them afterwards. But Shadows kind of went literally into the shadows after it released. I heard nothing
Yeah,
about it.
I haven't really thought much of it since like a month.
So in my opinion, I guess it was okay, but
The downfall of Assassin's Creed needs to be studied. That's what I would say. Because Assassin's Creed was so good. It was peak. Black Flag, Unity, Syndicate. They are some good games.
I think I'm trying to think when was the exact down
It was
point.
after Syndicate. Syndicate was sort of halfway in my opinion. It wasn't bad.
Unity.
Nah, Unity was good in my opinion. I think Unity was good
Well,
because you had the
if not
co-op.
Unity,
Yeah,
The
no,
co-op was good.
yeah,
okay, if
I
not
enjoy.
Unity, then
Looking
it's
back
Odyssey.
on Unity, it's like you look back and you go, actually,
Well, Syndicate was between
was not that
Unity
bad.
and Odyssey, wasn't it?
Yes.
I would say
I'll have to
Syndicate is the
actually-
turning point because it was good, but it definitely was going downhill. I would say, especially coming after Unity. Then I
well,
didn't even play Odyssey, and then the ones after that because it was too RPG like. But
I mean, yeah, the games on themselves. I mean, Odyssey and oh god, um, Valhalla and the other that like
actually, I
they're
played
fine
Valhalla.
on
Sorry.
their own. They're fine as their own sort of game, but they're not Assassin's Creed games. Like they're just
Well, Assassin's Creed was good because you played it as an assassin. You know, you do parkour, stealth, and it had some good characters, and it was somewhat based in history. Whereas, like, now, it's just like sword fights.
well, yeah.
In the Egyptian one, like,
Well, you can't.
Souls-like bosses.
Yeah, you got the bosses, but to be fair, again in Black Flag, you could go around sword fighting about I don't know, like 50 guards at a time.
Well, yeah, but that was more
Got
so
an absolute
optional.
rampage.
That was more
Oh
so
yeah,
optional,
but
whereas I would say the new
I'm
ones,
just saying you can.
the level design literally barely even accounts for stealth, especially Valhalla. That had no stealth. But, you know, I guess we could talk about,
Speak,
well, I'm going to bring a question up. What setting that we haven't seen yet in Assassin's Creed would you guys like to see, or do you think they might do next?
What do I want to see?
well, I mean, there's categories of these types of games that they've missed out on. So cowboys, but that would not work at all. I don't think.
Yeah, it depends on how like they're actually going to. Depending on how they do the gameplay,
What?
depends on also the time period.
No, I mean like no. I was thinking, outlaw, Wild West, cowboy. But then come to think of it, you could do the same era, but in Washington or New York.
Yeah, but I'm
But
also just
definitely not already.
imagining like this assassin getting spotted and then just gunned down on top of a building trying to run away. Uh, pretty
Right.
easily. Unlike,
Yeah.
in Black Flag where they will have muskets and it's not can't really um fire in succession too quickly. But if you've got cowboys
I'll
Well,
throw
I
one
guess
in.
in that case,
You
it's
go,
kind of
wait, yeah.
difficult to think of any.
I'm going to throw
It's
one
kind
in.
yeah, go on.
World War Two. They touched upon it briefly in Syndicate through like a glitch, whatever. you go through like a glitch thing, and it puts you in like Paris, World War Two, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I
But
remember you talking about that, and I thought it'd be a good idea to make it more of like an espionage sort of game. So sort
yeah,
of like you're in Berlin and you're an Allied spy, and you've got to sort of it's more like Hitman, I guess.
mm.
But there we go.
But again, both Hitman and Assassin's Creed have this whole thing about target, kill target, but they do it
Not even
very
like killing target, but
different ways.
finding a way into a building,
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
information, escaping without being detected, finding a way to get the intelligence back to I don't know England, London,
Yeah, I don't see
something
World
like
War Two
that.
fitting AC or Assassin's Creed,
Yeah,
but then again, it might depending on how it's done. I just don't see it.
yeah.
Fair
It's
enough.
yeah. You've also got to find a time period that has really strong like historical figures that you can have scenes with and have storylines with.
I can't
Because
see
I
Ubisoft doing Hitler. I can't see them
yeah
doing that.
yeah yeah I think every single like historical character that you interact with would have to be from the Allies. They wouldn't be brave enough to do one from Nazi Germany or Italy or Spain. Uh, yeah, it'd have to be like Churchill, maybe Stalin. I don't know.
Who knows anymore? It'll probably be leaked soon or whatever. It
I don't know.
seems
Yeah,
like the
but
Assassin's Creed games are just leaked constantly.
yeah, no, but yeah, but it seems like more of like a Hitman sort of thing. It'd be interesting to play a game like that, but would it be Assassin's Creed? I don't know. I haven't played Assassin's Creed, so I can't really speak to
Mm.
that. I know what the gameplay is, but you know,
Yeah.
what are historical periods or
Touch on Marathon, I suppose. You lot probably know more than me, but I've got beef with Bungie, as you know. But I
But
guess
you
like
can explain.
what's gone wrong with Marathon, I suppose.
Well, look, I'm not 100% like well, I couldn't give you 100% the reason, but at least from looking into it, and I think the whole or from the outside view, and actually just looking at the game from my own opinion when watching trailers and stuff, is one. Now I would say extraction shoot is probably the main problem, but then there is Arc Raiders, which is another point we'll bring up in a bit. But so I can't really say extraction shoot is the main problem, but the gameplay just looks very uninspired, and the style I don't know how to fully give off
It's very
my
polished and very
mm,
clean, and it's very sort of
it.
yeah,
Flat. Well,
It looks a
sort of
lot.
sterile in a
I'm going
way.
Yeah,
through
yeah.
some footage and gameplay now. It's very flat. Like it's almost
I,
as if it's like flat
I
color
don't.
shaded.
Sorry,
That
so
definitely is a style, but again, it doesn't have any sort of gritty.
yeah.
It's not gritty at all. It's very polished, very
I don't.
sanitized
Yeah,
in a way.
I don't think that. I don't mind that aesthetic, especially, but with the type of like tone they're going for. At least I need to look. I'll have to rewatch trailers again to get more. But if from my memory, the tone doesn't seem like not. Just seems they're going a bit more serious.
Because
Um,
I remember when
or
the trailers came
more
out,
serious tone.
we were watching Summer Games Fest or whatever it was, and I remember the art style was like, I literally said, "Oh, like this game's art style looks sick," but
Oh yeah,
like
I,
it seems a bit underwhelming.
it's a game that I see myself. I could play and definitely have a good time, but it'd be okay. But not. I don't see myself sticking around for more than 2 weeks or like a week. Like I could hop in, I'd play it for a week or two, and I'd leave. But I wouldn't stick around for it. If you understand what I mean, it was. I think it will be an okay game, but it's not. It then that's I think the main problem. It
Well,
just looks okay, and there's nothing
well,
interesting.
it's very funny you bring up the point of playing it for like 2 weeks and it not being like a long term game, considering what Bungie did. I I can go into it. Shall I go into it? I don't really
Yeah,
know.
well, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to rant, you can.
Right,
Absolutely.
so here's a rant, ladies and gentlemen. Last of Us. These boys know I am arguably one of the biggest fans of the franchise.
Might go on for a while.
It is tattooed on my body. Factions,
Yeah.
I would say arguably one of the best multiplayer games I've played. And it came out in 2013. People still play it. Now, for some reason, Bungie were given the power by Sony to cancel Factions 2. Because apparently it wasn't financially sustainable long term. Which I think is mental. To be honest. I mean, I don't know what you boys think. I know you aren't really that into Last of Us, and I don't even know if you've played Factions.
So, I mean,
I haven't played Factions, but I can say it seems a bit ironic considering Bungie's situation, and that from what I've heard from you guys is the Arc Raiders, which seems to be the direct competition for Bungie's new game Marathon, seems to be similar to Factions, apparently, right?
yes, I've seen
Which,
videos on
yeah,
people actually comparing it to Factions, but also just the game itself being, again, in comparison to Marathon, just being just better. I mean, the main praise for the game, at least for Arc Raiders, is the sound design, the world design, um, how the game how the game presents itself. If you understand what I mean by, it just presents itself, its tone and everything just seems so like spot on. Especially in a game that when you look at the gameplay, like this is just your very simple third-person shooter gameplay, but everything else around it just makes it so just works
yeah.
so goddamn well. And when you go to Marathon and it's like, this is okay. This is eh.
No. I
But
just think it's ironic that Bungie have said to Sony, this Factions game is not what people want. What people want is what we're doing. But then, a couple of months later, the exact opposite is proven.
And that game's
So
scrapped forever. So it's just done. Yeah.
Factions, yeah. No, I think the two problems with Marathon and why it's not really connecting with people is number one, it doesn't offer anything, and number two, it seems like another game that is in the wrong genre. Like people were saying with okay, going back to Concord when it was announced, Summer Games Fest nearly a year ago now. Like when it was actually announced with gameplay trailers and character trailers and whatnot. People thought from the cinematic trailer there was going to be some kind of, well, some people, I thought this was going to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy. You remember the game, the Guardians of the Galaxy game? Maybe
yes,
something like that.
I played it.
Yeah.
I played that
Yeah,
Guardians of the
it's
Galaxy
going to be an action adventure game with this
game.
cast of characters, and you get to make decisions and whatnot. You get to explore this universe, like an open world RPG, but then turns out to be a hero shooter, and it just seems like the wrong genre. I think Marathon is the same. I think that Bungie always does this. Well, they did this with Destiny and Destiny 2, but they put a lot of efforts into making really nice looking sort of world, and they spend a lot of time in world building, and it's really interesting. But then they make it an extraction shooter where like the mechanics of the world itself doesn't actually play into it at all. Really, it just seems like
Well,
something that's completely separate, which is a shame because with like the sort of post-human, post, I think it's post, it's like post-death because most people's they inhabit like robots, right? Or something akin to that. So
I need to look into it. Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, but that's what it seems like, and it seems like a super interesting game story universe narrative for like a really good sort of immersive sim, like Deus Ex. or Prey, something like that, where you can explore the philosophy of this and you can upgrade your character um, um, in a different way to a looter shooter. But again, it just seems like a weird thing to pair together, like this really cool world that seems really fit for a different type of game, but then they fit it with something else that doesn't work. It just
Yeah,
seems
well,
weird.
like it's funny you talk about a game changing its sort of genre. Again, Arc Raiders wasn't meant to be what it was right now when it first got revealed. It was meant to purely be a PvE game where you go in with your friends, only against a AI, the Arcs as they're called. Um, but then it's gotten changed into an extraction shooter, which has actually benefited them compared to the opposite of what we thought Concord was going to be, and what this game, at least what Marathon should be. Um, at least in my and again, I think because I'm gonna glaze Arc Raiders because I it's all of a sudden
What-
it's become one of the games I'm actually waiting for or hyped for because it just seems so goddamn good.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess we can say that none of us have played either game.
no, no, so I can't actually say I prefer one or the other before I actually play them. But if someone goes, "Oh, are you gonna which one are you gonna buy?" If they you put both in front of me, well, I'm gonna play Arc Raiders because from watching the gameplay of both of them, just Arc Raiders is way more appealing.
Yeah. So
It's
I've seen a lot of both of the games, but I personally don't find the appeal of extraction shooters or religious games like that. This doesn't appeal to me, but I can tell that Arc Raiders has more to it than Marathon. Again, yeah, it's just strange that you'd have such a disconnect between the actual game and like the story and the world. It's like they have all this foundation for a good story, but then like the gameplay just doesn't do anything with it. Again, they're just entirely separate. It's similar to like Destiny One. Like most of Destiny One is
well, yeah, in the end, we
yeah.
feel just wait and see. I'm still wait and see actually what happens because sometimes even though we think Marathon's not going to go too well, maybe.
I think
So
it won't be as bad as Concord because that
no,
truly
I
was
think it
bad.
will.
That was historically poorly received.
Yeah, yeah,
But
We're
I
talking about waiting and
uh,
seeing. Uh, in 25 days, the Summer Games Fest takes place.
yeah. Mm.
Do you have any hopes or any predictions for said event?
Arc Raiders will get
absolutely
stealth dropped. They
no,
will stealth drop
absolutely
Arc Raiders.
no. I just want to quickly say that I think if Marathon wasn't
Got shadow
Bungie,
drop.
then people wouldn't be talking about it nearly as much. I feel like people would talk about it now because it is the next Bungie IP. Well, not IP because it's actually a remake or soft reboot, whatever. The first game, but I have a feeling that if this game was made by like an unknown studio, then people wouldn't talk about it.
Fair enough.
That's just one thing I want to add. But yeah. Sorry.
Summer Games Fest. Josh, did you have something?
Yeah, no. Again with Arc Raiders, I have a feeling it might get shadow dropped with all the positive reception. Um, because again, after the playtest, they released a survey asking, do people think the game is ready to be released, like basically now? And I think the majority of people said yes. And they keep dropping very subtle, um, not hints, but like things in their messages, just very consistently that they might the game will be coming out soon, rather than like see you later this year or whatever some games do. So people think it's going to be shadow dropped at Summer Games Fest. Um,
Fair
but
enough.
any other games, I'm not too sure. Either we get more another, well, I say another GTA trailer, probably not, but maybe get a third one or something to
I
do with GTA again.
I doubt it personally. I can't see them dropping 2, considering they've just pushed back development as well. I can't imagine they'd have one ready. To be fair,
True.
I don't really have hope for events anymore. To be honest, I never get anything I like. So I'd rather go in pessimistic and be surprised. It's like maybe they drop intergalactic, whatever. Even though I'm really not bothered, which is sad. But yeah, I guess it'll be alright.
We'll get probably, if Hollow Knight Silksong probably actually get a actual date that it's releasing after the Nintendo thing just showed it off real quickly without any context after the absolute brain rot of people wanting any news on it. So that'll probably potentially get something or an
No
actual
doubt
date.
Hideo
trailer
will
shown on
probably
that.
be there as well. He's working on a game, isn't he? Death Stranding 2.
He's working on a
Yeah.
couple. He's working on that OD game. It's called
yeah.
OD. And yeah, he's working on Death Stranding 2. He's probably working on something else.
Him and Jordan Peele.
Yeah, yeah. We'll just have to see.
Wait and see. Probably watch it.
Yeah, the only thing I want to hear about in the AAA market really is Half-Life 3, which
Has there
Sorry,
actually been any news on that or anything?
well,
Because I haven't been
just
in the loop.
leaks and speculation from leaks, and it's just lots of
Oh,
little things, but
So code.
some of it's compelling, some of it, it just seems like wishful thinking. But I don't know what to think, but I can only hope that at the Summer Games Fest they will say something. Valve will say something about it, because there seems to be a lot of rumors, and a lot of those rumors get backed up. But again, it's nothing concrete. There's the main rumor at the moment is that they're playtesting extensively, and that it's content or mechanic locked, and that it'll be shipping come winter, which will be amazing. But again, that's wishful thinking.
Don't Valve like to release with a big tech upgrade or something?
They usually do, but it's not always a guarantee. It doesn't have to be a tech upgrade, but the games always have to push some kind of something forward. They have to push something forward, and that can be either like if Half-Life Alyx is the technology of VR, like with Half-Life and Half-Life 2, there wasn't technical stuff behind it. No, there wasn't technology behind it, but there was. There wasn't hardware, so there's someone to say there wasn't hardware pushed with it. It's just that the stuff in the game is, really pushes the medium forward. Well, I mean that comes down to the other leaks that we've had about the game, because being made in Source 2, a lot of other games are made in Source 2, only CS2 and Deadlock, which is also being developed, which means that one game changes the Source 2 engine, adds a feature, then the other ones get it as well, which means that whenever CS2 or Deadlock gets an update, people sift through the code changes to see if there's anything like Half-Life related. There's been a few things definitely that seem to be definitely advanced. So people think that's related to Half-Life 3, but I would love to see that, because not my favorite game, but I think the Half-Life franchise, I love them, and it's probably my favorite franchise. I love Half-Life, Half-Life 2, the episodes, Half-Life Alyx, and I'm just sick of not knowing about what the next one is going to be. It might not even happen. They might cancel it. Who knows? They might cancel it and not say that they've cancelled it. So But I and the other thing is that if they were going to announce it, they wouldn't need to use a showcase event for people to know about it. They would just release it and then be a huge thing. But people are confident that Half-Life 3 could be revealed at a Jeff Keighley event, because I believe Valve wanted Jeff Keighley to announce Half-Life Alyx, but I think it got leaked before, so he didn't actually get to. Is this how it went? Or something happened and
He
he came
did
out
something
to do
for
it.
Half-Life Alyx, so I watched it a couple of weeks ago. He went to
What
the
the?
offices and played it, I'm pretty
No,
sure.
he went to the offices. That was before I think it was officially announced. I think that's supposed to coincide with like the reveal of Half-Life Alyx, but I think it got leaked before then, so he can actually do it. And I think Valve have promised him that he could reveal the next Half-Life game, I believe. I think because they have a history with each other. Because I believe the story is that when Jeff Keighley was in college, he did a piece on Valve when they were still making Half-Life 1 before it came out. Obviously, he's a game journalist by trade. So they kind of have a history together. It's sort of like before all of them were famous, they all knew each other. So he's been pretty involved with Half-Life since the beginning. So I think it would be good. That's why people think there will be the Summer Games Fest or maybe Game Awards, because there's that connection there.
Fair enough. Well, there we have
So,
it,
yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, there you go.
Going to uni gets you a job. We've worked it out. It does work.
Well, this was back in the 90s, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess.
but yeah, I could talk about that all day, but yeah, Half-Life 3,
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking forward to.
I guess I can move on then. The games of the week section. This section is sort of, we just go over what games we've been playing in the week, whether we recommend them if we want to do that, and yeah, what we've liked, what we haven't liked. And if you're listening and you want to take part, pop a comment down below and tell us what games you played this week. So I guess
We'd love to hear from you.
Or recommend, because I'm always
or recommend.
wanting to find a game that
We
I might find.
We
I
play
might
those
enjoy.
games.
Absolutely. So what have you been playing, Matt?
Well, here's the thing. I probably played the least games out of all three of us, but basically, got back into some sim racing. Me and Josh have been on that a little bit. So I've been playing ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione.
How much of that have you actually been playing? Like, I know.
I got like 7 hours, I think, something like
That's 7 hours.
that. Forza Horizon 5. It's alright. It's a bit It's a bit boring when you play by yourself, though, is what I would say. And the other one, literally, probably the only other game, other than CS:GO, but I just do that as a weekly grind to get money. It's Poke MMO. I've still been playing it.
Oh, you.
I got like 400 hours.
Fuck off.
I just brain rot it and just sit there and do it. It's Shiny Hunt. It's actually pretty good. I would recommend that. That's one game I would recommend. Look into Poke MMO.
I still have it installed, so it's one of those things that I may hop on every now and then, but not as much as you.
I don't really play games, to be totally honest. I play games, but not as much as I used to. I sort of sit there and think about life recently.
Ponder.
Yeah, that's where I've been at, really. Who wants to go next?
Well, I guess yes. Well, similar to you, I've also been playing, doing sim racing stuff. Again, said of course a competizione, and then trying out Evo as well, which is improving. At least on the performance side. At least it's improved performance side on my PC, which already isn't like a top of the line, which I would say is at least just below a mid end. Well, it's getting to that point where it's dropping. And to be fair, other than that, I've been on and off playing Dead by Daylight, which is probably don't need to explain that game. I think a majority of people have either at least heard of it or touched it.
Oh yeah, 20
and know what's going on there. Other than that, if it's any other games, even if I'm looking at my library right now. Oh yeah, and playing a bit of very off and on, not that much, maybe a couple hours a week, just a bit of Skyrim.
Fair
But
enough.
because I never actually played and finished through Skyrim, or so I thought every now and then I'll hop on, progress a few hours, and then finish it, and then I can put that in the bank. I finished Skyrim, and now nobody can complain about the fact that I have not finished Skyrim or played it.
I haven't touched it either, to be fair. I don't plan on touching
Oh.
it. Right, very nice.
Got bad news for you. Half of all game releases are Skyrim.
Damn.
Trust me, they may have done the Oblivion remaster, but next year it's going to be the next Skyrim remaster.
Yeah. I mean, you're joking, but you're probably not wrong either. It will be an Unreal Engine 5 remake.
Yeah. That's the way it's going. There's very few main party Unity games, I would say, nowadays, but
Yeah. Isn't the Days Gone remaster coming out this month?
I don't know. I'm really not bothered about that. I don't know why it
It
needs a
was.
remake, to be honest. But that's
Mhm.
that's going back to that other conversation. But
That's a topic for another week. Yeah.
yeah. So George, what have you been playing this week?
Okay, well, I've been playing a few things. I like to every now and then go back on games in my Steam library that I haven't played as much, or don't have a lot of achievements for, and I'd like to collect them again. So I've been playing Lego Lord of the Rings.
That's based. That's a great game.
It is pretty good. I still enjoy that you can. It's not obviously it's not a 1-to-1 scale, but it's a almost fully realized Middle Earth map, which I find enjoyable. It's kind of tiny and really cute. But yeah, I just enjoy collecting achievements. I really like Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, Tolkien's works. So that's good. I've been playing Alyssa a lot. You might not know about it's a classic Resident Evil style survival horror game made by Casper Crows in 2021. I think it's very good. It's very replayable, very charming, very. It's extremely authentic. It looks 100% like a game from the PS1, which takes a lot of effort to sort of make it look like that. I think I've played that through like 5 times in the last week. So yeah, I think that's why I enjoy it so much. It's memorizing the map, memorizing all the puzzle solutions, and finding the quickest route to do it all. And you can just keep playing games like that over and over and over again and getting better. Counter-Strike 2. Every now and then, I'm very poor, but I've been getting better.
To be fair,
And
I just shotgun rush at the moment.
that's exactly what I do. Every round, I just go Nova, R8, fragmentation grenades, incendiary, and either flashbang or smoke. And you just get used to that, and you'll do pretty well.
Maybe it's time for my reinstallation of Counter-Strike.
I would recommend we all get into some Premier matches.
Oh God.
Fully Human Games CS:GO.
Yeah, man.
Professional
League.
team.
CS:GO.
It's our competitive team.
Yeah, 3 of us.
Time for our weekly 5-stack.
Must have to sweat out.
Yeah.
I haven't been playing it, to be fair. But
We'll do tryouts for the other members, see if they can join our.
No, just 3 of us against 5 others. It's fine.
we forcibly.
But yeah, no.
the team.
They've added 3 new maps in the last week.
Have they?
Oh, okay.
They have, which is exciting because CS2 doesn't have as many maps as CS:GO did. I'm trying to miss. So I really miss Cobblestone. And yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely get to installing it after this.
Nice.
Oh, that looks
Trying
like
to
the
think of
Black
the
Ops
other
3
maps.
map. The
What
water part
agency?
one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a silly one.
Then again, I can't say I won't play it more than Dead by Daylight at the moment.
Yeah.
DVD.
I guess the last thing I've played this week is Kingdom Come Deliverance again,
Nice.
because I really
I would
enjoyed
say the
that.
second game is, well, at least right
Probably,
now,
but I want to get
personally,
all the achievements for the first game, and
yeah,
wait for the
I
other
will
games to come out. So
say out of all the games I've played this year, before I play any of the new games that come out this year, it is my game of the year at the moment, Kingdom Come 2. Very
nice.
much enjoyed it. A lot. Um, One of those games that I just sat and could just play for the entire day and not stop. And I wake up the next day and I play and I can't stop just because it's one of those you just get immersed and you just want to keep going.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the problem. I just enjoy the mechanics too much. I mean, there's a lot of jank, but that's again, that's the charm. I just enjoy like the stupid method of like getting money and increasing your stealth stat by um whenever you're riding on your horse and you just walk by a wayfarer, then you can just go behind them, knock them out. No one will care. Steal the money and you'll get XP for stealth, and you just do that all the time, and you'll do pretty well. I just think it's stupid stuff like that just makes the game really fun.
I can't back that up.
And
I really did not like playing that game. It was so buggy.
I I know it's
you
buggy,
just don't
but I
have
haven't encountered that many
you,
bugs, so I don't know what experience you were having.
Mine was literally unplayable.
That's weird. I maybe if you just restarted the game, it would have worked, but
No,
I
because
haven't encountered it like that.
the mission where you have to escape the castle, I go to get on my horse. It puts me in the roof every time I try and sit on my horse. So it was literally impossible. I ended up just walking instead. I literally walked across the entire map.
But you can do that. You don't have to get the horse as an
Well,
option.
yeah, but it took ages, and I was bored by that point, so I just called it off.
Fair enough.
you did a bit of walking and then
No, when I say walking, I
you
mean
dip.
it was about 10 minutes of walking, real time. And for my ADHD ass
Yeah,
brain, that's not good. I have to do something.
I guess that's what I like. That's what I like about it. I'm doing a hardcore run, which sort of limits you. You can't fast travel, so you have to manually go everywhere you want to. Which makes it pretty good at reading the map and being efficient. But yeah, no, I really enjoy it. Yeah, I just love all the shenanigans you can get up to. Even stuff like you lose all your money gambling to one guy, so you just wait and you just stalk him until he goes home, or at least until he's alone. So you knock him out and steal all the money back and maybe his clothes. And then you get away scot free. It's just stuff like that. I just find fun.
Fair
But yeah,
enough. Well, that's the main point. We've really covered all the main points we put down to talk about this episode. I guess if there's anything you lot can think of.
Any interesting facts? Anything?
We can talk about GTA. I mean, I don't know how this.
I mean,
I don't know how much there's to touch upon it, but
well, I'll say how much do we care? How much do you two actually care about new GTA? What's like your actual interest? Are you actually interested in the new GTA?
well, GTA
I
5 is elite, but I don't think GTA 6 is going to be as good. I don't think it's possible to be as good.
Because
I've never played GTA, and I have no interest in GTA 6 other than what it's going to do to the industry. I think that will be interesting and how much money it makes. But I've never had an inkling to want to play GTA. That's just me.
I mean, I played a bunch of GTA 5 back on the 360 and then obviously on the one. Um, but no, after 5 or after stop playing 5 and then after 6 has been announced, I've just not been. It's just something that's not really got me hyped about GTA anymore. I
Well,
used to really
people
enjoy
are
it,
hyping it
but
up so much, but I think everyone's just going to be disappointed. To be honest, like the online
I'm
won't be as good because they won't have all the futuristic stuff straight away. Because it took them like 3 years, I'm pretty sure, to add like futuristic stuff to online, which some people don't like, but I think it does definitely make it more enjoyable long term.
it depends which online, because if you're getting fucking nukes constantly, basically. Just go into a private lobby, but then the fucking balancing of that is fucking shit if you have to go to a private lobby to not be infinitely harassed by some fucking guy.
Well, yeah,
What about,
but
what about the performance?
Yeah.
well, according to their trailer,
What's
everything
expect?
was in engine. So if it looks like that,
You know,
a lot of
what
people
about-
would have.
Apparently recorded on a PlayStation 5 and not the Pro version.
That's good, but what about PS4 and Xbox?
It will not be on 4 or
Is it
Xbox
not?
One. I don't think it will not be on the 4.
I would
That
hope
game
not,
will not be
because
on
that'd be a
PlayStation 4.
disaster.
Good, it shouldn't be actually. I'd stand by that. I think there's too many games coming out that's still being made with the PS4 in mind, which I think is pretty well, not it's not stupid because obviously some people can't afford to get a 5, but the 5 has been out for 5 years.
No, I think half of all PlayStation owners are still PS4 owners. Which again is
Yeah, but
understandable.
I think
Because
it's understandable, but I think that's understandable because there's no releases on PS5. There's no like PS5 like only well not only games, but there's no like PS5 like main games that I can think of really. There's a
well,
couple.
I don't think it would be a bad thing if they just optimize the hell out of GTA 6, and even if it doesn't look nearly as good as a PC or PS5 Pro version of the game, you know, the options there. If you want to play a worse looking version of GTA 6 on a PS4, then you should be able to. Because why not? Obviously, a big company isn't going to want to do that because it's way too much money, and they want you to buy the new console and buy newer games on that console. But from a customer standpoint, why not?
Well, I think in the case of GTA, I think they care about their quality that much that I think they wouldn't do that because if someone's playing it and it looks like GTA 5, they have to tune back the graphics that much for PS4.
Yeah.
I think it goes against their ethos.
I guess it wouldn't be much of a point then, would there?
No.
No, I suppose not.
My main thing with GTA 6 is all the people mad that it's been delayed, but it's like I don't think they understand what goes into making something like GTA. They're just like, oh, no, just release it. But then the amount of like stuff that is in GTA and just Rockstar games like Red Dead, like you just have like random characters with entire storylines that you can do, just in the middle of nowhere, and yet like they just want it rushed. I think might as well just wait. But
It's a lot setting in.
yeah, brain rot.
How long has GTA 5 been out?
What,
12 years?
Well,
12 years, alright.
Yeah. 2013? I think it came out 2013.
Oh,
Did it? Because did it win Game of the Year?
Yeah,
it must
it came
have.
out 2013.
Well, Last of Us was 2013 and it won Game of the Year, so I don't know.
September 17th, 2013.
There are many Game of the Years.
2013. Game. Maybe the remaster of Last of Us won Game of the Year, but that makes no sense.
Who knows?
In 2013, both for Last of Us and. Oh no, they both.
I think the different awards. I think the Game Awards have been going on that long, have they? I think wasn't the last Game Awards the 10th anniversary? That's where it was.
I'm not sure. I won
Something like
BAFTA
it
Game of the
was,
Year, Last of Us.
First
Right.
Game Awards was 2014.
Oh yeah, it was last year. There was 10th anniversary. Who's looking forward to the 11th Game Awards?
Not me.
No, I am.
Boy, am I.
Well, I always enjoy it.
I enjoy watching it, just because
Yeah.
it's like a social thing, as a means to talk. But
Yeah,
other than that,
A means to an end.
I never get anything out of it. To be honest.
no, I have a good feeling about Half-Life 3. I've completely given up on Bloodborne remastered. That's never going to happen. I've made my
Good.
Made your peace.
I've made my peace with it. Yeah, that's whatever. Moving on. It's the final stage of loss, isn't it? Acceptance.
Yes,
If it
I
can
believe
happen,
so.
that's fine. Yeah, that's what I'm. Well, it's not fine, but
I,
not
I
gonna
for
happen.
one, personally, after playing Bloodborne, I think it's fine. I really didn't enjoy it personally, but obviously it's personal preference and all that. But I think it's a bit overhyped, in my opinion. That might get me crucified, but
well, it's not for everyone. I think it's. Yeah, it's not for everyone. I just really like the setting. That's a personal thing.
I think
I
the
think it's the best
setting.
game of
Yeah,
all
I think the
time.
setting's good. I just think everyone like online. I wouldn't say it's like the greatest game
Yeah,
ever.
it can be a bit much. It does come down to personal taste. I really love the setting. I love the music. I love most things about it. It's not the best From Software game because that's Sekiro.
True.
Because goddamn man, is that a solid game?
Very true.
But yeah, yeah. Well, that's my thoughts on GTA 6 then for the moment.
We've gone for an hour, so we could probably
Maybe
call it
now.
there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess this episode you could call it has been it's been very general.
Yeah, it's very much an introduction to what we plan to do. And then future episodes will be much more focused on certain topics and a lot more structured, I would say, than this. But this is just sort of a test, an introduction to everything.
Yeah, more researched.
Yeah. So I guess I'll wrap it up. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and you want more, please make sure to like and subscribe depending on what platform you are listening to this on. Leave a comment, anything we can improve, anything you liked, anything you didn't like, etc, etc. I want to thank you for listening, and this has been the Full Human Games Let's Talk Games podcast. Bye.
See you later.
Oh. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Adios, adios.